Hey, this is Daniel Wesley, and you're at Popularity.
Do you always feel like your latest release is your best?
Do I always feel that? I definitely feel that this time for sure. Yeah, I think that's probably fair to say for most people, but I would hope that would be this what you, like most people feel, because why else did you do it? You know. So for this album, Easy Living, for sure, I feel like it's the best one I've done. For a lot of reasons, not even just with the people I've made it with, because I've got to work with some really great people in the past. But I don't know. I just feel like the songs and the diversity on the album is more so than I've ever had before. I've always had a different kind of vibe all over the last four albums that are cohesive enough, but I think this one definitely kind of like um, sets it apart for the fact that there's like four or five different kind of like crossing genres on it that I feel like is really important these days for people to have, just with iTunes and everything, and no one really puts on a CD that often, listens to the whole thing all the way through nowadays, because it's all about your iPod and changing, right? So, um, and for me, it just keeps it exciting. So, yeah, I think this is my best album, and I guess I usually do feel that.
When did all the songs come together?
Um, well, I started working on the album, I guess it was about a year ago, and I had some songs, a couple of songs that were just kind of didn't really ever get finished. You know, you always kind of have, it's like anything, you can always have kind of something, I'll finish that later, or you can't really wrap your mind around it, or you try it and it never really sounded the way you wanted it to. So there's a couple songs like that, but a bunch of them were just kind of written over the last year, and actually two of them like a week before we hit the studio, to record, like I thought I was going to do these other songs, and I ended up doing these other two, and one of them ended up being the first single, Head Out of Water. Like I just wrote it like 3 days before we were in the studio, and it's like, we have to do this one. Like I really feel like we have to do this one. So it's always different from album to album. This one is all pretty like current for material wise.
What makes a good song, and has your view on that changed from album to album?
What makes a good song? See, I'm just a sucker for like catchiness. So if I can like remember how the melody goes, like I'm so bad with words, like even my own words, that like I forget some words. Sometimes when we're playing shows, I have to try and figure it all out sometimes. But for me, like a good song is just something that it evokes a feeling, like it kind of wakes my body up a little bit. It doesn't have to be like a happy song or a sad song. And if it makes you kind of have that kind of like feeling in your body, and then also the fact that you can hum it after. So that's kind of like my kind of guideline for if I'm going to record a song or not. Like it has to be catchy. People have to be able to sing it and want to sing it and feel good about it. So I think that's what makes a good song.
Is there a song on the album that you regard as kind of pivotal, one that kind of pointed you in the direction where you wanted to take the album?
Well, Head Out of Water was definitely, which is the first single, is kind of like one of those songs that I kind of wanted to put on there that I didn't have, and like I said, and it showed up really late in the whole recording thing, but I wanted to kind of have some new life and some new blood in what I did, and it was like the perfect song, because it's like everything that I've done in the past before Daniel Wesley, and everything I kind of want to like keep it going, which is like just have diversity, you know, like the live show has always been fairly diverse for me, I think, but like I want to like diversify it even more, is the fact that from song to song it can almost be a genre change, but it'll always sound like me, you know, like it's like um, not that I ever think of my music like David Bowie or anything like that, but it's like David Bowie always, like song to song, album to album, things just change, right? So I don't know. I think it's important.
Now, you've mentioned that you get to a certain point where you're trying to broaden what you have, but when creating the album, were you worried at all that you would do something that that some fans would hear it and be like, what the hell is this?
Not really. I don't really think like that at all, because really if I'm feeling what's going on, like if I'm really into it and stuff, then chances are people that are fans of mine are going to like it. And if they don't like it, someone out there will, you know what I mean? And I don't expect, like, I can't think of one band really that I like every single song of theirs, like a lot, you know? Like there's always going to be songs out there that, you know, whether the artist loves, and sometimes those are the songs the artist loves the most, you know, but no one ends up liking it, you know. But I've never put out anything that I wouldn't stand behind, you know what I mean? So, um, I don't know, for this album, the diversity was kind of meant to have diversity on it, but it was also kind of just like me just not really, not that I didn't care, but that anything really went, and I was willing to like put out like or like put out any ideas out there in the recording, you know, and then sit back and figure out, okay, well, how does this sit with the album, you know? And I also consciously made sure there was music on there that represented who I am, like for the fans, you know what I mean? That people like the style that I've come to be known for, then I will always make sure that like half the album has that on it, you know? I'm not gonna like walk away from that, but I think people want to be challenged because they're not being that challenged a lot of the times anymore. And for me, I have to do that way, or else I'll just go do something else, I guess, if it's boring.
Is there a song on the album that surprised you the most?
Surprising was, yeah. Well, there's a song called Argentina called it's like Untitled number 2 or number 5, I guess. Yeah, Untitled number 5. Sorry, I put an Untitled song on on every album we've done. So this is the 5th one. So it'll be Untitled number 5. And it's like it's like me and acoustic guitars, and then there's like a string thing, and like that was actually the only song actually I've ever really done that I was a little bit nervous about people hearing a little bit, like you were asking before, and now that I think about it, that one, because it's a pretty like vulnerable kind of sounding song, like um, and I don't know, like you do. But I think that's good though, because I challenged myself and I put it out there, and I know people will like it. But I don't know. You kind of have to do those things, or else it doesn't really. I couldn't do the same album every single time. You have to evolve, and yeah, I don't know. I just said that.
At this point in your career, are you happy with the way things have developed?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I get to work with really amazing people. Um, I haven't had a day job since 2007, so I'm really lucky the fact that I do what I love as a living. Not a lot of people get to say that, you know. And yeah, things just kind of evolve the way they evolve, you know. Like I never really wanted to be one of those people that was like, I wish I had this and this and this and this, because I don't have it. I'm like, I'd rather just be more thankful for what I have and keep working hard for the things that I want, you know. So I'm definitely happy that where I'm at. Do I think we can bring this thing like to more people? That's really all I'm really concerned about. It's not so much like how many records you sold or anything like, or the accolades never meant that. That's what I meant. The accolades never really meant anything to me, you know, award or anything like that. It's about how many people can come and see me live, and how many more people can I get to hear my music, and that's really it's all about. So.
What's your earliest memory?
My earliest memory. I remember my parents always had Volkswagen vans, all the time. And I remember we had this one van. This is not the earliest memory, but it's kind of funny. I come from a big family, and it's one of the earlier memories. I don't remember how old it was, but it was pretty young. And I have an older brother, then it goes me, then it goes my sister, and it goes my brother. And we actually adopted another sibling now, so there's another, but she wasn't around because that was a long time ago. And we would have these Volkswagen vans, but this one van we had to get rid of because every time my mom would go left, like turn the wheel left, it would like honk, like it would go bing until she straightened it out. And we had to drive like that. I don't know how long. It felt like a month, but it was probably only a few weeks until they figured it out. But I remember like getting dropped at school or everywhere, and like Mom said it was so funny because every time she went to go left, she would just see all of us just ducked down into the back of the seat or whatever, being so embarrassed. So I think that's a funny memory to have. Me and my family are really tight, so it's funny.
Do any of your lyrics occur as a result of the dream that you had?
Yeah, a lot of them. Like a lot of the stuff I do, I'm kind of like a more of a I don't even really want to call myself a lyricist because I think that's kind of corny because I know I'm not really I'm not a poetry kind of guy. Like I am more of like a dream kind of writer because everything that for the most part, majority of the time, it's all just like stream of conscious kind of thing, and like, so I definitely think that dreams and stuff like that play a part.